Hello YouTubers, this is Whitney here. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. I'm kind of piggybacking off of my last video. I'm gonna put it here. Now if I get the edit right, it's gonna pop up here. If I don't get the edit right, we both gonna laugh about this because it's gonna be funny to me too. But I'm gonna jump straight into it. The topic I wanted to talk about is accountability and the part that somebody can inevitably play. Inevitably. You know what that word is. I don't know what it is about me in certain words, but you know what that word is. But the part that we play in these situations. So my last video, I was talking about my kid's father and how it wasn't a great situation, and I knew it before getting into it, and I still jumped into it. We're going to tell a little story about another situation that I was in, just to show you that being accountable doesn't mean it takes blame away from the other person, because it's not really about blame at this point. It's about perspective and just knowing the part that you play in it, so that when you focus on the parts that you play in it, you can get out of it. Like, you'll be able to get out of it if you can pay attention to that part. So I had a situation where this guy wanted to talk to me. I used to be a great skater. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't gonna say I was a great skater. I liked skating, okay? But there was people that was better than me. So he was interested in me. He approached me, and I wasn't having it. I was young. Let's take this into accountability. Let's just put that out there. I was young. I was around 14, 15. But the story is about accountability. It's not about how old I was. Okay, so I was about 14, 15. He was interested. I wasn't interested. But I took the number anyway, and I never called him. And then I came back to skating the following week. So he then decided to approach me again. Okay, so now I'm laughing and he's laughing like, oh, so you just gonna show up again and not call me? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I did take the time to get to know him, because to me, I felt like at that moment that was kind of shallow of me to be like, just the way he looked, I'm not interested. And by the time I got to know him, he was a really cool dude. I really did vibe with him. I did feel a little pushed, before I was ready. I was a little pushed to date him. It took a little bit, so I did. I eventually did date him. The problem with that is I kind of felt like at the end of the way that everything happened, I shouldn't have dated him, because it hurt me in the end. So that was like one of those things where I felt like I knew better, and I still did it despite me knowing better. Whatever my reasons were, I probably should have taken a little more time to figure out what my reasons were, but I still did it despite how I felt. So to get on with the story, I don't know what I played, like if I ever hurt him, because I did try to talk to him about it, but I was still young, so I don't know what part I really played in. The part that he said I played, to me, just sounded like bullshit, if I'm being completely honest. But the accountability that I take is I inevitably put myself in a situation to be hurt in the first place, because I didn't want to date him, and I did it against my better judgment, because I was going through a lot when I was a kid. So it was kind of like I didn't really give people a fair shot. Had I been more in tune, had I had more counseling, or somebody that I could talk to and really go through these things with to give me another perspective, I could have made a better decision. Now, again, I'm young, but this still is relevant, because if you learn to look at each situation and say, hey, what part did I play in this for this to in this and in this manner, then I can learn to avoid it. It's not about hold on, let me rewind. Avoid it, or know what to do once I'm in a situation. Sometimes it's not about avoiding anything, because sometimes you don't know. I could tell you all day, every day, how to avoid something, what not to do. And sometimes our biggest lessons comes from what we've learned from that situation. But we can't do that until we're in it. But if you have tools to be able to look back and say, I see the part I played in that, then maybe you can avoid whatever something that looks like that in the future. Or if you can't avoid it, like I said, you have those tools to say, oh, okay, so I know how to handle this. I might be a little deep in this situation, but I know how to handle it. And that's the part that I'm talking about, because unfortunately our frontal lobe is not developed until 25, or at least that's what we're told, right? But if I'm going off of just what I've learned from then until now, around the age of 25, it's like my brain was like, pieces go together. Oh my God, what? Like, okay, like fun part, right? Miles per hour, no freaking joke. In school, that crap was hard, but when I got to an adult, I'm like, oh my God, miles per hour. And it wasn't even just when I started driving. It was like 25. It just, stuff started to like, what? That makes sense. Oh my God, that makes sense. Like, what if my teacher would have taught me this way? School would have been easier, or it would have been funner, or whatever. But stuff just starts to click together. So another advice for anybody that's watching this that's under 25, please try not to make any major decisions that's going to affect your life in the future until you're around the age of 25. Because, baby, the stuff that just pops up in your head, you wake up out your sleep like miles per hour. That crap cracked me up. I remember the first time that happened, I called my brother like, dude, and he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, but dude, he's like, I know. So like I said, I know that's a funny part, but I promise you, sweetheart, if you can wait till you're 25, stuff start to click. But I was young, but it's still a situation I can look back on. It's still something I can look at and grow from and say, you know what? I did play a part in that. Because playing a part in something doesn't necessarily mean you're completely wrong or that person is completely wrong. It's knowing what part you played in it so that you can use that in the future to say, you know what? Red flag here, or even a yellow flag. Even if it's not red, it could be yellow, like caution, pay attention, watch, like absorb. Make sure you give it a little more effort with your thought process than to just jump straight into something. So like I said though, if I get the edit right, it's gonna be over here. But if I don't, we both gonna laugh about this, so we just gonna move on. So it was nice talking to you guys again today. I love you. I will do my best to be a weekly person on Tuesdays. I say Tuesdays because no one really likes Mondays when they in the Matrix. The Matrix makes you all screwed up and they're like, oh, it's Monday, I gotta go back to work. So my Tuesdays flip-flop because I'm a truck driver, as you can tell. I'm still in the truck and I'm doing these things for you guys. I am transitioning out of the truck, but while I'm in this truck, Tuesdays, okay, I got you. And even if you don't want to stay to the end of my videos, go ahead and fast forward it into the end and just let it end on its own like that, because we get better reviews if you do that. So I appreciate you all. If you're here and you're listening, it was something that you vibed with, so see you soon.